Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get into the weekly reading for Capricorn from March 22nd to the 29th. And I just wanted to let you all know before we get into the video, as I've said at the beginning of all my other videos this week, just, sending a lot of peace and blessings and love to you all out there. It's a very, very difficult time for everyone. Even the readings I'm doing are showing that everybody's having, a difficult time right now. So all over the world, and I have people who watch my channel from all over the world. So I just wanted to wish you sort of peace and blessings, and be kind to each other, be careful out there, try and stay safe, try and stay healthy. And I just wanted to send that out to you. And thank you so much for taking the time to stop at the time like this and to watch this video. So also, I am giving away on my channel this month. Every month I'm giving away now a tarot or oracle deck. This is probably like the 5th one I've given away. And this is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook, which I am giving away March 31st. And all you have to do to be in the running for that is to be subscribed to my channel and to leave me a comment letting me know that you're actually interested in the deck. I just don't want to give it to somebody who's not interested in the deck. I just want to give it to somebody who's going to work with it. So let's get right into pulling out your romance angel messages, guys. We're going to pull out your 3 cards. All right. See what they say for you this week. And then we'll get into your animal spirits, and then we'll get into your 3-card spreads for the week, your outlooks. All right, Capricorn. I did say this was for Capricorn. I hope so. All right, new love. We have codependency. Wow. All right, and we have free yourself. All right, there you go. This card comes up a lot for you Capricorns on my channel, right? It's quite interesting, actually. All right, so let's get right into pulling out the animal spirits. Sorry. This is the deck that I'm giving away this month. And this is the deck that I love using when it comes to animal spirits. So I hope someone out there really enjoys it when they receive it. I'm sure you will. I'm so happy to give it away. It's one of those decks that, at first you may look at it, you may say, it's quite simple, but it really runs quite deep, and you can work with it in a lot of different ways. It has a lot of different symbolism and ideas that you can work with. It's just very beautifully made and conceived and everything, so I'm so happy to give it out. All right, guys, Capricorn, let's pull out your animal spirits. There goes my cat. Sorry about that. We have the cosmic egg associated with the 7th chakra. This is the last and final card in the animal spirit deck. And so, of course, it is associated with absolute completion. All right. And we have the Vulture. So, air energy here. This showed up before for a reading. It's one of the cards that shows up a lot for my readings. It's a really misunderstood animal spirit, but it's really a beautiful animal spirit. We're going to get into it. And then we have the raccoon, another one that shows up quite a lot for my readings, certainly. Every week the raccoon will show up, at least for a few people. And generally the vulture will show up like that also. All right, let's get into it before we read your cards. The cosmic egg. All right, so the cosmic egg is the card associated, the animal spirit associated with the 7th chakra, the crown chakra. And this is another thing in this deck. Kim Krantz has included 7 mythical animals and sort of mystical objects for the ether element, right? And so these are animal spirits in a sense. They're mythical beasts. Here we have the serpent, the great serpent that's wrapped around the egg of creativity. So this is sort of a mythical beast and mystical object combination. This is an archetype, but here this is a symbol for the energy, though, of one of the chakras. And she includes this in the animal spirit deck, which I love so much. And here we're talking about everything, everything coming to completion in your life, right? And oftentimes when things come to completion in certain stages of your life, you also have within that a huge sort of potential for new growth, right? Because it's complete. Now you're beginning all over again. And it's at the very beginning of starting something new that you are at your full potential, right? This is when you have all the potential in the world before you have sort of started getting into it and sort of, going down one particular path or another. So completion and the beginning of something new, ending and beginnings, are the times when we really are feeling highly sort of creative, right? We're feeling a lot of potential. Whenever you're embarking on something new, think about it. You feel excited. You feel like, if you're starting a new career or new path or anything like that, you feel extremely excited and imbued with the world is your oyster sort of feeling. And so this is something that we can associate with the cosmic egg, because that same feeling comes from having reached completion and everything. Right. So some of you may have reached your final destination as far as your goal with your career or your business, right? You may have reached the pinnacle of something. You have gotten to whatever it was that you were sort of setting out for. So you've reached your goal, but you're also excited for the next stage. This is a very strong spirit animal card, and it's associated, like I said, with ether. Now, the vulture is an air animal. Elemental, and this spirit of the vulture is really misunderstood a lot. It's very undervalued, because look at him, it's the vulture. Not a lot of people find him very attractive. It's gross. They eat dead things. But the thing is, in our ecosystem, the vulture is extremely, extremely important. And without it, there would be no chance for rebirth or regrowth or new things coming, right? Because we will be infested with disease and pestilence. The vulture cleans up all the dirty work. And it's interesting that this card has shown up now twice for the readings for the weeklies. I forget what other sign it was, but it was for another sign. And I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't show up one more time, because there is a lot of people are doing the dirty work right now, cleaning up other people's messes, and having to sort of be there to fix other people's messes. This is a sense and a spirit of the vulture right now, because a lot of people are having to sort of band together, for various reasons, right? And I'm not saying this is a way of putting blame, but all I'm saying is that the spirit of the vulture is certainly that feeling that you have when you are having to be the one to do what somebody else or nobody else wants to do, right? But something that needs to be done, right? Something that is important, something that is necessary. This can even happen in a personal relationship. If a friend comes to you, this can happen also sometimes when friends come to you, for instance, and they're having a big mess in their life and they want you to come and help them. That can be the spirit of the vulture too, because here you are coming in to really take care of a mess, right? So it doesn't only have to be a mess of your own making or a mess around you. It can also be that you are the one that's called upon to help other people through their messes, right? So it's a hard animal spirit, because it has to have that mental fortitude. It is an air element animal spirit, so we're associated with the mind here. So you have to have the mental fortitude to be able to do this kind of work also. Not everybody can possibly do that. Just like the vulture is undervalued, its job is so undervalued, many, what other animals could do that? It's a difficult job, right? So there you go. The raccoon is next. This is earth energy. So here you have something tying you down, grounding you, Capricorn. And the raccoon is associated with someone who has an extreme amount of talent with their fingers or their hands. They're usually musicians or artists, right? People who create things with their hands. They can also be people who work with their hands in sort of a therapeutic way, right? People who perhaps do massage or do, any kind of body manipulation for therapeutics, or people who do delicate surgery and things like that. Any kind of thing that really requires a skill and a talent with your fingers and your hands has the totem animal of the raccoon. You can turn anything into a tool. But the one thing with the raccoon is that he often hides in the shadows. He's the type of animal spirit that wants to work behind the scenes. He doesn't want to have the spotlight on him. And he's a very sweet animal spirit, but also sometimes if you're resonating with this, you want to try and just, if you desire it, right? If you're being held back by this energy, you should try to come out of the shadows more. If working behind the scenes is good for you and it's working for you, then that's fine. This is not necessarily a bad a bad thing. If it's because it's of a lack of confidence or self-esteem, then that of course is something you want to work on a little bit. But if it's just because you were shy and that's not what, that's just not your game, that's just not something you're into, being in the focus, then that's also okay. Raccoon animal spirits are still very, very grounded and very, very emotionally healthy. They're just extremely talented people. And with that comes a little bit of quirky feelings and attitudes all the time. All right, here we go. Let's get right into it, Capricorn. We're going to pull out your 3-card spread for the week. Now, these spreads are intended to be separate from each other. So, just take it for what it is. Some of it may resonate, some of it may not, right? So, and that's fine, because they're really intended to be for separate Capricorns or separate experiences. So you may resonate with a portion of one and a portion of another, or none at all, right? So we'll just hope that it gives you some clarity this week, Capricorn. Straight out, we have 2 of Pentacles. Wow. So cross watchers, you're going to be not surprised to see that, right? I hope, So if you've been watching my channel as a cross watcher, you're going to know that I talked about this 2 of Pentacles coming out, and I already said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out again. And there it is once again, the 2 of Pentacles, right? So here we're talking about absolute financial chaos, chaos in environment, in health, in finances. Everything to do with our material world right now is in a state of flux. And this card is one of the cards that has come out so much this week for the readings. It has come out for at least, I'm going to say now, 6 of the readings. So, and I still have 2 more readings to do. So there you have it, and this is what I mean about reading for the collective at certain times in our society when we're going through certain things. We can see a theme running through for everyone. And so everyone is going through financial upheaval. This is something that's going to cause a lot of emotional upheaval as well. You can see that the ocean there is behind the character and is like also very up and down, very chaotic. That is symbolic of the emotional sort of ups and downs that are coming with this. And of course, Pentacles also rules it rules money. It rules your business, your career. It can also rule your health, right? It can also rule your state of physical health, your physical environment, the state of your physical environment, where you're living, how you're living, all of that. Anything to do with the material world is associated with Pentacles. And 2 of Pentacles is one of the most chaotic cards for that in the tarot, because it's so up and down, it's so up and down, and it's like finding the balance, right? Because 2s are really ultimately about finding balance, right? There's not always balance there. You're working towards that balance sometimes, right? But it can also be that flux, right? That flux. And so you're coming into the week with that, Capricorn, and further into the week, you are coming up against certain events. This is a strong reading because you're rounding off with death, but you're coming up with certain events, Capricorn, that make you feel like holding on to what you have. Right now, you feel like you really need, sorry for that. You really need to hold on to what you have. You're feeling like you need to sort of either, I'm not going to say hoard, but just really be very conservative. Okay, be careful though with this energy, because 4 of Pentacles is an energy that comes from fear. It comes from the fear of losing stability that you've worked for. And a lot of times this energy can get very, very chaotic or very, very intense to the point where you may be sort of beginning to get quite miserly or greedy. So just be careful with that energy, right? Because, also 4 is the number for stability. If you are careful here, and so this is one of the reasons why sometimes we can look at tarot readings to just give you, they're not always meant to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but it's like just a mirror of what may happen. And so when that event happens, you can be more sort of present and conscientious and be like, oh, okay, this is what, I was told I might come up against, and now it's coming up, and so maybe it's not catching me off guard. And if this energy is coming into you this week, Capricorn, the best way to handle a 4 of Pentacles is just to remain calm and to not get extreme with any emotion, because it comes from fear. 4 of Pentacles is a fear of your situation, your environment destabilizing, right? Sometimes that fear can cause cause you to, end up destabilizing it anyway because of the way you're reacting, right? So you just have to be very careful with this. By the end of the week, you go through death situation anyway, which means not death in a real sense. Let me be clear. Death, it doesn't mean a real death in tarot, but it does mean that everything in your environment and in your situation now is going to be completely changing anyway. If you hear my cat running around, please do excuse me. Everything is going to be completely changing. Right? And this is going to come in whether it's going to be unstoppable, because the one thing that we do know about the death card that is, in tarot, is that it is just as formidable as what we would assume a death would be. Right? Just because it's not a physical death doesn't mean it can be stopped. It is just as formidable, and it comes in. And it's necessary. It comes in situations where it's absolutely necessary for you to move forward. You're just not going to be able to move forward without this coming in. And so life brings it in for you. Right? These are certain events in our lives that happen that really are events that we could not have foreseen, could not have controlled. There's nothing we can do about them. We can try our hardest to be the best people and to make the best decisions. But at the end of the day, we can't predict what life is going to be like or what life throws at us, right? And so death is one of those things. It's one of those things that comes in and transforms your life, whether you want it or not. Ultimately, it is all transformations in your life are ultimately for your best good, because everything in life is about evolving up and up and up back to your spirit, right, where you are perfect. But so it's always meant to be something to transcend, right? We're always meant to learn something and have the ability to transcend, but it's very, very difficult. All right, 9 of Cups coming in, 2 of Wands, 6 of Cups. Some of you are coming into the week with the 9 of Cups. You are feeling very, very happy and lucky about a situation. You're feeling very blessed. 9 of Cups is a beautiful energy. It's a feeling of knowing that who your friends are. It's a feeling of being thankful, being thankful for what you have, right? It's really nice. But it is also sometimes interesting because it does lack that deeper connection, right? You're happy, you're blessed, but this generally means you are still kind of, not that you're on your own, but you're certainly not yoked to someone, right? Because in all the 9 cards, we have a sense of the hermit there. So even with the 9 of Cups, even though you're happy and blessed, this is the card for blessing. 9 of Cups, being blessed. Not all cup cards in the tarot are only about 2 people. And so here, this one is about someone who's, yes, they're blessed with the relationships and the friendships and the family and all of that in their life and the happiness. However, they're still kind of sitting apart from those cups, and they're sitting on their own. They're sort of satisfied, but they don't have that deeper satisfaction of being with someone. And this is something you should always remember whenever you're dealing with a 9 card in the tarot of any suit, that there's always that touch of that feeling of being alone. Coming into this week, though, you're kind of moving forward. 2 of Wands, you're able to move forward in a particular endeavor, because 2 of Wands is all about passion. It's about making the next move to conquering the world, as it were, from your point of view, right? You have the world in his hands there, so he wants to conquer the world. So it's that feeling of wanting to rush forward and take the next steps on any project that you're wanting to do or path, what have you. 2 of Wands is Mars and Aries energy. So if you think of it this way, it's a real sort of warlike energy of wanting to go out in the world and sort of, project your energy out in the world, and take the next step on your path to what it is you're trying to achieve. Right? Interesting. By the end of the week, you round off with a happy connection with someone. So it could be that this week is all about you making this connection to someone. You finally maybe have freed yourself. Free yourself comes in. New love comes in. Cosmic egg comes in, completion, right? So it could very well be that for some of you Capricorns, this week, certain events happen in your life that allow you to sort of pick up the reins and make that intentional decision to go towards someone. Because this 2 of Wands energy that you come up against this week inevitably takes you towards a love connection here with that 6 of Cups. And what could feel like a new love connection or a love connection with a friend that is now suddenly resonating up. Can be that you have freed yourself from another situation, right? And this might be why you're coming in the week feeling so happy and blessed. You may have just been able to come out of another situation. Cosmic egg can be associated with freeing yourself. Capricorn. So you may have indeed freed yourself from the past. Everything has now been completed from that. You're absolutely free from that, able to start something new. If that's the energy you're working with, it feels to me like, yes, you were feeling like, wow, I'm blessed to have everything, but now I need my person. And to me, it feels like this is it's very specifically somebody that you're looking for, like you know who you're going after. This is not a chance meeting, because Two of Wands is an intentional step out into the world, right? So this week, it's like not only do events sort of lead you that way, you sort of orchestrate events that way this week, right? You orchestrate your life this week, or you make an intentional effort this week to move yourself towards someone. Six of Cups. So this is a decision that you make, right? And it's nice because you do round off with that Six of Cups. It means that meeting this individual ends up turning out to be exactly sort of the love connection that you work towards, because Six of Cups is a very pleasurable love connection. Right. And I just can't imagine going out into the world the way you do here with Two of Wands and then rounding off with a Six of Cups, because Six of Cups is generally somebody you've known for a while. Right. So it's a new love connection, but it's always a new, it can be a new love connection, like with somebody who you were friends with, or somebody who you knew, or something like that. It generally can indicate that. It could also just be that you run into someone, or you just meet somebody brand new out of this event in your life, and you do have a connection like that with them, right? See, even the card is really jumpy. You do have a connection like that with them right away, right? And that it happens as a sort of happenstance from whatever it is you're doing this week on a path towards something else. You may not have been intentionally moving towards them. This could have happened accidentally, but in either case, this is going to come out as a result of whatever work or whatever steps or decisions you make this week as you move forward on your vision here with the Two of Wands. So this is where that's going to come from. It's going to be quite interesting. Certainly you're going to feel like a new love and a free love. Page of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So this is the last spread, Capricorn. And Page of Pentacles is a beautiful energy. It is the Earth of Earth. Pages are always Earth. Pages are also always associated with freeing yourself from any fear in that suit. And here with Page of Pentacles, it's like you free yourself of any fear of not being able to get the job done, right? Or not being able to solve the problem and create what you're trying to create. Not to be able to achieve something, right? To manifest something. Page of Pentacles is like, you want to be able to be, handy and effective, and you want to attack everything like, okay, let me find the right solution, let me get it done. Page of Pentacles is very much sort of grounded energy, right? It's the energy of practicality. It's the energy of earth, right? It's the energy of getting things done, and therefore, actually manifesting things because you're actually doing what needs to be done, right? So it's a very, it's a very 3D world energy, right? You're really going out in the world and you're doing what you need to do. You're creating things, or you're getting tasks done or activities done that you need to get done in order for you to achieve what you're achieving. So this is a very strong energy, and you're not afraid about stepping out in the world and tackling it. And again, this is that release from freedom that pages bring to whatever suit. And here in this suit, it brings it to the earth, right? The earth realm for you. Realm of action. And so you come into the week with this Capricorn, but you do run up to a Five of Pentacles here. And this is quite interesting because Five of Pentacles indicates a sort of sudden split, a sudden divide, sometimes even a power struggle that eventually sort of ends up with you out in the street. Now, this power struggle can be with an individual, or it can be with a job. It can be with, it can be with a lot of different entities or energies, but whatever the case may be, it's like you're on the end of having to sort of pay, right? You're on the end of this energy struggle, I'm going to say power energy or energy struggle with something or someone, where effectively you're the one who now has to pick up the pieces. Sometimes this can be the result of a divorce, or sometimes this can be the result of a loss, of a lawsuit with your boss, or this could be just as a victim of, being marginalized, right? It is, but it is a power struggle. It's a power struggle that where you lose, where you are effectively ousted. And so you're having to find yourself really pick up the pieces and rebuild. Now, the one thing with Five of Pentacles, I always say is fear not, have not, don't be disheartened, because generally this card does indicate that as you build yourself up again, right, you're going to have many more opportunities than you ever had before. Right? So this is kind of like, it's a devastating event that comes in, but sometimes that power struggle was only ever going to lose. And sometimes you need to sort of absolutely just lose and have that break and rebuild. And so when you rebuild, you become stronger. Your options are better. Your opportunities become more and better. You're better able to take advantage of opportunities because of new lessons that you've learned. And it just makes you stronger. So the Five of Pentacles also is an energy of, you know, you may be taking 2 steps backwards now, but you're going to eventually be taking 5 and 10 steps forward. By the end of the week, you round off with the Queen of Swords. And, you know, this is a feeling of saying, well, you know what? I'm not going to play that role anymore. So this is interesting. You've lost this power dynamic somewhere along the line and really been sort of thrown back down to the ground in a lot of ways, right? Back to ground zero, and you're just toughening it out. You're going to make it, though. But it's interesting that you then round off with this energy at the end of the week with this Queen of Swords, which is a feeling of, you know, being absolutely free from any roles that you may have played or any masks that you may have worn or any attitudes that you may have held on to that weren't really who you are, but, you know, you held on to them because, you know, you thought that they turned you into a different person, maybe a person you thought you wanted to be, or maybe, you know what I mean? It's the things we hold on to that hide who we really are, right? But the Queen of Swords cuts through all that. She's done with that. She's not willing to hide who she is. She's not willing to be true to her true belief, you know, true to her real beliefs, really, and show what she truly believes. And sort of, she requires this honesty. She has this self-honesty of the court cards, right? But here she's very honest with her feelings, right? She's not hiding her feelings, and she's not hiding how she feels, and therefore she's not playing a role. And so queens are always water, and this is what we understand when we have the watery aspect of air, which is swords. And so this is where you end up as a result of this. And so this Five of Pentacles does have a profound effect on how you see yourself as well going forward, Capricorn. It's going to be a quite you know, it's interesting. It's almost going to feel like this was necessary for you to have this sort of evolution about how you see yourself and how you present yourself in the world, because of course you're going to get over this and you're going to rise above and eventually you know, have even more abundance and success than you did before. But you still get this invaluable lesson here with the Queen of Swords about really sort of freeing yourself. You do have free yourself here as a message. Freeing yourself from certain attitudes and behaviors you've held on to that would have only ever held you back. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. This is your March 22nd to the 29th weekly general reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you want to get a private reading, you can look at the link at the top of your screen and get a private reading to screen. And that's it, guys. Please don't forget to let me know if you're interested in being in a wild animal, unknown animal spirit deck, guide, and book giveaway. March 31st. All you have to do is be subscribed and leave me a comment letting me know that you're interested in the drawing, and then March 31st you'll have to check in with me, okay? Because March 31st I'll be picking the winner and I'll release the winner video, and then you'll have to watch it to see if you're actually the winner. So that would be great. So you can then send me your information so I can ship it out to you. All right, guys, that's it. Check out your other readings in the description. All right, please remember to be kind to each other, to be loving to each other, be safe, be careful, to try to stay healthy out there, right, and health conscious, and most of all, be kind to each other. And for the rest, that's it, Capricorn. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week for your weekly general reading. Bye-bye now.